Rashee Rice, Chris Godwin, Chris Olave, 3 wide receivers. We're wondering, will they contribute in week 1? Will it be 100% for week 1? Will some of these guys or all of them be hampered in week 1? Be 100%? We're going to break it all down right now. I'm going to give you everything that's out there floating around on these characters and their likelihood of contributing and their value and the risk assessment. Do you draft them? How good are they against their ADP in terms of risk versus reward? We're breaking it all down right now. The Fantasy Football Show, late night news show. Maybe we'll draft, we'll see. Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Let's start off with Rashee Rice. And first of all, I'm going to say that I love the value of Rashee Rice. Not to ruin it, but this guy's going in a territory of ADP that I can get behind. It's fantastic. And you can't always draft Worthy and Rice and Mahomes together, but there are rare occasions where everything falls just right in a best ball draft. You're getting all of them outside of the round 4 territory. So to get Rice, Worthy, and Mahomes, again, very hard. It's not easy. That is phenomenal in a best ball situation to have your first, your second, your third round to smash other picks. But Rice is looking at right now an ADP that is slightly below Worthy. Worthy's at 38 overall as wide receiver number 21, whereas Rashee Rice is about wide receiver 26 and coming in around 46 overall. So you're talking about a player in Rashee Rice that goes right at the 46, puts him right about the tail end around 4. And that's where I say sometimes you can get Worthy and Rice if Rice were to fall to round 5. And I like that value. I don't think this is bad at all. He was on pace for 1,200 yards, about 8 touchdowns, and 100-plus receptions before going down in week number 4, I believe it was. And that's even including him going down in week 4. Like, technically speaking, it would be more like, if you extrapolate the data properly, 10 touchdowns, 110 receptions, and probably 1,300 yards for Rashee Rice. But let me read you the report. Well, right here it says, Coach Andy Reid said Rashee Rice's knee is on track to be ready for training camp. I have no questions about him being ready for week 1. In fact, my questions about him are more about a 2-game suspension that he'll probably face. I don't think it'll be 6. I don't really even think it'll be 4. It could be, but probably a 2-game suspension if it doesn't even get pushed to next year again, the way that this stuff works. But I'm not worried about his LCL. It was not an ACL tear. It was an LCL. Not that the LCL is like every knee injury is different. So you can suffer an LCL injury and it be worse than an ACL tear, but traditionally, and in this case, not worse than a total knee getting mangled. And for the most part, I'm not a concern. I'm the least concerned about Rashee Rice of the 3, if that makes sense. And so let me pull up some knee info for you guys. I prepared a little knee encyclopedia for you.
LCL supports the outer knee. Damage causes side-to-side instability. Grade 1, mild stretch, minor pain. Grade 2, partial tear, moderate pain. Grade 3, complete tear, significant instability. For grade 3 or sometimes grade 2 injuries, surgery is often needed. Healing timeframes. Grade 1, a few weeks. Grade 2, a couple of months. Grade 3, 6 months or more.
So he had a grade 3, technically speaking. It wasn't. Sometimes the LCL is not always going to be a complete tear. It's really hard to snap your LCL in half. It's more of a stretching. They repair it, they tighten it back up type of thing. The MCL is the same way. The MCL is very, very hard to tear. The MCL is on the other side here. You usually don't tear that thing in half. It's more about stretching and then getting it back to the point where it's gonna be nice and tight on that side of the knee. Essentially, think of like your LCL and your MCL and your ACLs in the middle like this, and they tend to keep the knee tight in that joint. And if you have lax with one of them, it's going to stretch and move and then tear other parts of the knee. The main thing about the knee injury is it's all about the instability, because you could come back out early, and if your knee's not strong, and let's say you lost a lot of leg muscle, your quads especially, your knee's going to be more susceptible to tearing other things and having some compensation. So I'm very, very much not concerned about his LCL. It's probably the least worrisome injury of the knee injuries. Meniscus is even way worse if it's a bad meniscus tear, because that causes the whole knee to be off kilter once you cut out, or if you have to cut out a section of meniscus which doesn't grow back. Whereas the LCL, you tighten it again, you do a little surgery on it, and it heals up, and then you're just kind of sore and you're managing pain and you're just making sure you get all your leg strength back. Not worried about his LCL at all. MCL, more painful than the LCL. That's probably the most painful ligament when you do tear your knee up, but not worried about this at all. And I'll even read the part from this NBC Sports report. It says, we'll see, Reed said in regards to Rice's recovery. He's working his tail off right now. I know Rice's week 4 LCL tear puts him in a better spot than a few other notable injury returners this season, but we wouldn't be shocked if he was brought along slowly. This is just the NBC report. My thinking is that, yeah, brought along slowly during camp. I don't think he's brought along slowly for week 1. This has been quite some time. As I showed you, 6 months to 9 months if it's a really, really bad LCL, which I think was bad enough that he's still recovering now, but I'm not worried at all. So Rashee Rice to the moon. If you could get him in the 5th round, especially in your grandma leagues, the underdog ADP that I just talked about, and I'll throw the wide receiver data on screen. I think I have it right. Let me see if I can find the wide receiver data. I think this is the wide receiver data. It is. You can see, and I'll go straight to the top so you can see how far down he is. Remember them best ball people consume wide receivers at a crazy clip, a lot higher than in non-best ball. So when you see guys like JSN at 25 overall in non-best ball, because best ball people they want receivers, they just consume it. They're brainwashed into thinking they got to get receivers. You're seeing 25 overall ADP. It's more like 30 in a regular world scenario, a non-best ball environment. So if we scroll down, look how far we got to scroll all the way to get to Rashee Rice, which is right at the bottom here. I'll make sure he's at the kind of middle section. Rashee Rice is going at 47 overall. Again, that's the tail end of round 4. I think he goes probably at 54, 55, 56 in a normal non-best ball setting. And this is where you're probably more likely to get Worthy, Rice, and Mahomes, depending on where Mahomes falls. And if you got to reach on Mahomes in one of those rounds instead of Rice or Worthy, and you get one of the others later, you can do that. It's definitely hard to get them all together. Like I said, all 3 of them together. But if you do, it's freaking fire. But in non-best ball, I'm not really as interested. Although I think because you're not touching your 1st, your 2nd, and your 3rd round pick to acquire the Mahomes, Rice, and Worthy stack. If you get Worthy in 4, Rice in 5, Mahomes in 6, which Mahomes is going like clockwork in 6 and 7. I think that's okay in non-best ball to stack that. It's of course okay in best ball, but in non-best ball, you're not committing your 1st, your 2nd, or your 3rd round pick to this trio, so you're not getting hit hard if the Chiefs have a bad game. And I think they ball out this year. I think that Mahomes has a huge bounce back season. I know a lot of you are ready to give up on him. I get it. A lot of people have a sour taste left in their mouth in regards to Mahomes' production in the last 2 years now. But he's had some weird set of circumstances take his fantasy value out of play. And he's coming in strong with Rice and Worthy, one of the better, more underrated wide receiver rooms in the National Football League this year. So can't wait to see what he does. People are wild for writing off Patrick Mahomes. Just absolutely wild, in my opinion. Okay, so no offense, Scott, but your recovery has nothing to do with a professional athlete's recovery. I appreciate you giving me your 2 cents, but maybe Scott is a professional athlete. Is he I don't know. Is this you or is this somebody else famous? I don't know. But tore your ACL meniscus 6 months ago. It depends, man. I mean, again, your LCL is completely different than your meniscus and your ACL. So comparing that to Rashee Rice's injury, you can't even do that. But anyway, appreciate you. Happy healing, Scott. If you are some sort of amateur athlete, congrats to you. You got this. bring home the gold, pal. All right, let's go to the next wide receiver. We'll keep the ADP handy because I think we're going to need to reference that along the way. Rashee Rice, you are Smitty approved, and I think you're going to have a phenomenal season in 2025, my man. Do it live, Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
All right. Let's see here. Did Smitty just speak on Rashee Rice? Yeah, rewind it, bro. You just came in a little late on that, but it's there for the replay value for you. Chris Godwin, next up on the list. Todd Bowles says he's hoping Godwin's able to play week 1. This is where, like, I'm not worried about Rice playing week 1 at all. At all. Thank you forever. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. I'm coming for your message in 1 second. Just hang tight. Let me get through these 3 pieces of news. I'm not scared of Rashee Rice at all. I'm scooping him up. I don't even care about the 2-game suspension, to be honest with you. I think there's a chance that happens, and if it does, so be it. I think he could play like a second-round wide receiver. I truly do. Rashee Rice is on pace, like I said, even including his injured game of the 4 games that extrapolates out to 1,200 to 1,300 yards, about 100 to 110 receptions, and 8 to 10 touchdowns is what I figure if we're extrapolating that week 4 properly. Rice is a monster. Godwin's a nice value at times, you know, when you look at ADP data. Let's see if we can even find him. I don't know if he's on here. Yeah, he is. 56 overall. I don't know if I love this value. I like him in redraft when he's falling into the 60s or something like that. But 50, it's a little high. I think being iffy for week 1 and being injury prone, I'd rather have Deebo Samuel. You could say Deebo Samuel's injury prone. I'm not worried about Deebo because he's healthy right now, and I think he's rejuvenated, and I love JD5, and I love Kingsbury, and I love the Commanders in general and the momentum they have. Give me Deebo all day long over Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin will probably climb a little bit if the news starts trending in the right direction. Again, in non-best ball, I don't mind him in the 60s, but I'm taking Deebo all day long over him. This is the one player I think we have the most concern about being ready for week 1, and he's starting to trend in a direction where I don't draft him as much as I used to when he was a much better value. He's climbing boards too fast, and his injury concern and even availability for week 1 is too great. The concern's too great to justify going as high as sometimes your 5th drafted player. I'm going to say disapprove for the most part on Godwin for right now at that cost of entry.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Love the player, rooting for a big bounce back season for him, but he's certainly not worth the ADP right now. Chris Olave, let's take a look at his ADP. This is a walking injury, ladies and gentlemen, a walking injury. By the way, Chris Godwin's injury is an ankle injury, not an ACL. For some reason, a lot of people always say Chris Godwin's coming back from an ACL. He's coming back from an ACL. He's not coming back from an ACL. He's coming back from an ankle injury. I'll even read Chris Godwin's piece here on NBC Sports. I'll have more to know about that after this month is gone on. See how he feels when he gets to running and practicing. When he gets running, he's not even running yet. Like, what's this report? This report was 9 hours ago. Okay, from NBC Sports via Rick Stroud. Okay, so this is 9 hours ago, and according to Todd Bowles, he's saying, see how he feels when he gets running and practicing on and everything else. Bowles continued, this makes both, Godwin's recovery after his 29-year-old dislocated ankle in week 7. Godwin certainly appears to be on a path to potentially play week 1, but is too far out to forecast. I'm not liking this. Again, like I said, I disapproved him already, but I wanted to read that full report for you to be fair to these guys. Chris Olave, let me read the report, then look at the ADP. Saints coach Kellen Moore said Olave has had a huge impact on this team. He's going to have a huge impact this season. He's the most healthy player right now. Rashee Rice is getting there, and I have no qualms about drafting him in the late 4th to early 5th. I think it's great value. Olave is the healthiest right now. There's even this report right here. I'll read this. Buried outside the top 30 overall in best ball rankings at times this offseason, Olave figures to be a key fixture in Kellen Moore's offense as long as he can stay healthy. He was likely to return from his second 2024 concussion before the season ended if the Saints had happened to have something to play for. He's had 4 NFL concussions in, I believe, 3 years. Let me put up the medical on concussions.
A concussion is a type of traumatic brain injury, TBI, caused by a blow, bump, or jolt to the head or body that causes the brain to move rapidly back and forth within the skull. This sudden movement can disrupt normal brain function, leading to a variety of physical, cognitive, and emotional symptoms. Grades range from 1 to 3, 3 being most severe. Antonio Brown's 2016 concussion, delivered by Vontaze Burfict, was a grade 3 and thought to be one of the worst concussions in NFL history.
Yeah, so look, Olave's had 4 concussions, and as I've said to all of you, time and time again, every concussion you get makes you more susceptible to the next concussion. They all are a gateway to more concussion type reactions, and so then the fencing, the more the thing is, concussions are an anomaly. And if anybody says they know, everything about concussions, they don't know anything about concussions. A true concussion expert will tell you no one knows that much about the brain and concussions, and it's wild to assume you know, which means that there's a chance that Olave never suffers another concussion ever again. Brandon Cooks was in probably the exact same scenario, if you remember back a handful of years, where it was like this guy kept getting concussed and he was done. Nobody wanted to touch him. He hasn't had a concussion for years that we know of. He might be hiding it. Sometimes these players, they're afraid that they're going to get taken off the field. And I think Tua, this is just my speculation. He had 1 concussion in college, 3 concussions in 2022. Two were 4 days apart. And then 2024 concussion had him nearly retire. He missed 4 games in 2024. I believe he had another concussion before, I think at the end of this year right here. It looked like it to me, and he was going to go in and get his payday that next season, so he couldn't afford to have a concussion again. These concussions they worry me because players have an incentive to hide them if they're in contract years or if they're looking at any sort of money, and then they go out there and they risk their body even more. But Olave having 4 concussions in his short career is very concerning. It doesn't matter if there's examples of players that have never had a concussion again, like Brandon Cooks. They're very rare. Usually when you have a concussion, you are an open door to another concussion. And the fact that he's had 4 so far in his short career means that he's probably a love tap away on the head from having another concussion. So I'm going to say this. I understand the allure of his ADP. I understand that if we scroll and find Chris Olave's ADP, where is it at? Chris Olave. He is falling pretty far down the ranks, 55. So DK Metcalf at 48. Ted McMillan, I don't want to Ted McMillan at 48. You guys know that. Addison, Cortland Sutton, Olave. I mean, honestly, you get in this territory and it's not that bad. I don't think I want to draft him, but it's not a horrible location for him to fall. He's clearly falling a lot. 55 overall is almost acceptable. And if he misses some games, he misses some games. I'll just say this, that when I look down, I still see Debo. And I say I'd rather have Debo than Olave. But it's not like I love a lot of players. Maybe Jennings is safer. I don't love a lot of players. Waddle, I probably like a little more than Chris Olave. But it doesn't mean I still want to draft him, because guess what? I don't have to draft a wide receiver right there. I could go running back shopping where Chris Olave is. I could go quarterback shopping where Chris Olave is. I could get a tight end where Chris Olave is. Maybe Laporta falls that far. Who the hell knows, But I don't know that I'm drafting Olave just because his ADP does seem pretty reasonable. But if you want to go after Chris Olave at 55 to 60 overall, I won't Smitty disapprove you. And I won't even Smitty disapprove this ADP. I'm going to leave it alone. It seems pretty flush, pretty even. I just don't know that it's my cup of tea. I'm going to say, bottom line here, I'm avoiding Chris Olave in 2025 overall. I'm avoiding Chris Godwin, which I wasn't doing at the beginning of the offseason, but he's been climbing, and I just don't love the cost of entry given the other players around his ADP. And similar to what I said about Olave that I'd rather have an RB, a quarterback, a tight end. The same thing applies here with Godwin. It's not that this is crazy bad value. Again, I love Debo more. I like Jennings a little more. I like Waddle a little more. It's not a bad value. No one's taking a lap, grabbing Chris Olave or Chris Godwin. Here they are side by side at 55-ish overall. But I'm not doing it. I don't, Smitty, disapprove you, but I'm not doing it. However, I am drafting a lot of Rashee Rice, and I think he's going to smash. Phone lines are open. Super chat will be answered. Dial in, dial in, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
What about Chris Godwin for Dynasty? Says Mr. G. I mean, he's 29 years old, I believe. I believe he's 29 years old, and that's not a spring chicken. So, I like the value in free agency for people to go, teams to go get him. Kruger, how old is Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin is 29 years old.
When was his birthday?
He was born on February 27th,
Okay.
1994.
He just turned 29, yeah. Well, receivers typically drop off at 30. So, Dynasty, I would probably avoid him more than a redraft, my boy. But it's a good question. I'm sure a lot of people have that same question. So, a very good question to ask, but I'm not taking him in redraft or Dynasty. This is from Forever. Appreciate you dropping your $13.99 hauler, Canadian style. Appreciate you, my people in Canada representing. 10-team Dynasty Superflex, 10 players start. Lamar, J85. Wow. CJ Stroud. You could trade CJ Stroud if the price is right because your quarterbacks are so great. Not that it's bad. It's always good to have 3 QBs, but Lamb, Nico, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Breece Hall, Gibbs, Monty, Ayuk, Jaden Reed, Ridley, Kittle. I like this team a lot. Ferguson 1.9 in 2025. Moves to make. I think I need some running back depth. I probably would say give me Stroud and a Monty or Stroud and an Ayuk to get that RB. And, I love these rookies, bro. I'd love to see you get Henderson somehow, using this with the Henderson pick, with the rookie pick, moving up the 9 pick, using Stroud, to get that 2, to get Hampton or Henderson. That would probably be my line of attack. And of course, I'd rather you get the 1.1 to get Genty, but that might be hard. But then again, it's super flex. Maybe Stroud and Ayuk together with the 1.9 to get the 1.1. Try for the draft pick. I really love the rookie running back value to solve your problem. And if you're looking outside that to go get a runner, I guess let me pull up the ADP data and just give you a couple running backs, I suppose, that I would be interested in trying to acquire with that same package. I'd probably say something along the lines of a Bucky Irving, of course, a Breece Hall, of course, but you already have Breece Hall, you have Gibbs, you have Monty. You could keep Monty, but I don't mind. I don't need to keep Monty because I have Gibbs in a dynasty. I wouldn't be opposed to trading Monty and Stroud to get that done, to go get a Genty or a Hampton, of course. Other running backs I wouldn't mind trading for, kind of like Najee right now. I don't know that I love trading Stroud for Najee, but I like Najee in terms of like you're getting rid of, let's say, the Ayuk and I don't know, Ayuk and what other running back can you get rid of? Looks like you don't have a ton of running backs to deal. I mean, I would get rid of Ayuk for Najee, and you might be able to get that done. Najee's older, not older, but he's not like a spring chicken, and running backs have a short shelf life, and some people still love Ayuk. Thank you for the super chat. If you got a follow-up, let me know. But I think you got the power with that super flex, format to maybe use Stroud to get that 1.1 or 1.2. Phone lines are open. Dial in, dial in, dial in. Let's talk about these wide receivers. Let's talk about the injuries. Who believes that Olave is worth the risk? Who believes Godwin's worth the risk? I do not. Who believes that Rashee Rice is worth the risk? I do believe he's worth it. Shador is not really a running QB, says this guy right here. Yeah, I mean, Shador can run, but Shador is going to be a good quarterback in the league if he lands in New York. If he doesn't land in New York, maybe he won't be. Shaheed, I don't know, a little bit, but I don't think, I'm not like wanting to start Shaheed. Do I like him on my team? Sure, I do. MHJ, generational talent, was a little overhyped last year. Not really, Joseph. I disagree with you. I think it's the Cardinals, unfortunately. He's a phenomenal talent, top 5 potential wide receiver for sure. And I do think he's still generational. I just think you can't blame everything on him. It sucks. Remember Bijan? Bijan was, oh, what a miss on Bijan, right? There was some situational disadvantages that we couldn't see coming for Bijan, and I think the same thing from MHJ. It's going to be a little delayed like Bijan, but Bijan's running back 1 now. The running back 1 Bijan shirts that I made his rookie year that we have on the channel. Let me see if I can pull up the merch. I think I got him over here on the merch. Yeah, Bijan running back 1. These were laughed at. People are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe, I guess that didn't work. That experiment didn't work." Bijan running back 1. We're lucky if he's running back 7 or 8. He's running back 1 now. We were right, even though we were wrong. And I know MHJ is going to still be unbelievable. It's just we got to get him the football. I mean, for the most part, he had like what an 8. What was the season? The season was still pretty decent when you think about it. Not every wide receiver breaks out their rookie year because of a situation. I don't think you can sit there and go, oh, MHJ only had 885 and 8. He's not going to be an elite wide receiver because he didn't do what BTJ did. BTJ, you could say BTJ's situation wasn't amazing either, but at least he got the targets. MHJ was literally running downfield, throwing his arms up sometimes and not getting the football. He had 885 and 8. That's a pretty damn good line when you really stop and think about it. And when you look at Marvin Harrison Jr.'s start to the season, and then you look at his finish to the season, it's pretty good. His finish was 63 yards and a touchdown, 96 yards on 10 targets, 6 receptions. He had 2 really good back-to-back games. And then Marv starting the season was unreal. His first 4 games were elite. He would start his weeks 2, 3, and 4 were elite. This is Marvin Harrison Jr.'s weeks 1 through 4. I'm going to show week 1 because I want to be fair. I don't want to cherry pick. I'm going to show you straight up the line. Week 1, 1 reception for 4 yards. Week 2, 4 for 130 and 2 touchdowns. Week 3, 5 receptions for 64 and a touchdown. Week 4, 5 receptions for 45 and a touchdown. That was elite in the making. His first 3 out of his first 4 games were on the track of being as good as everybody said he was going to be, or as good as we said he was going to be. I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to have a really good career. I don't know. Rock Out, you're live. Let me see if Rock Out. Can you hear me? Let me see. I might have to do the. All right.
Really hard.
All right, Rock Out. I'm sorry, we couldn't hear you. Start over. You're live.
Yeah, when it comes to Olave, it's really hard to love him. He's in a awful trash situation. You never know how that offense is going to come out as far as being in the first year of their offense. And as far as getting a running back, do you think it's easier to go running back later because you can go Hall or Tyron in the third?
Well, that's not really later. I mean, that's still, it depends how you define later. I think, I already showed my favorite draft strategy in Fantasy Football 2025, which is the video that says go Jamar Chase or go JJ or go CeeDee Lamb and then take Kyron and Breece Hall, or take Kyron and Bucky, or take Bucky and Kyron, or Bucky and Breece Hall. It's my favorite strategy in all of 2025. But that's still not taking a running back late, in my mind. That's taking
not like first round.
I mean, it just
kind of wait. Like,
it just depends, man. It depends. Who do you think you can get at wide receiver if you wait? I just tend to feel like, is Kyron capable of being a top 5 running back? Absolutely. Is Breece Hall capable of being a top 5 running back? Absolutely. Is Bucky? Yes, absolutely. Can you find receivers in the 2-3 round turn that are top 5? I mean, JSN comes to mind, but it's not a lock by any means. And I just think I'm far better off having 3 top 5 potential guys by going wide receiver, running back, than going running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. But I will say that on the teams where I've gone RB, like I almost feel like if I go RB in round 1, I'm more prone to try and grab still the same running backs at the 2-3 turn. So if I go triple RB, robust RB, what can you get? Can you get a Rashee Rice and a Debo? Can you get a DK and a Debo? Can you get a Rashee Rice and a DK? If so, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Like going RB, triple RB is not that crazy this year. I think going triple wide receiver is a lot riskier than going triple RB out of the gate. Give me Rashee Rice and Debo, or Rashee Rice and DK, or Debo and DK all day long as my wide receiver 1 and 2. If I'm coming out of the draft with Bijan and Kyron and Bucky, like, sign me up. I like that too.
Where's DK going? I forgot.
5-6. It just depends. I think in non-best ball you can get him in 6 a lot. In best ball, people are just stealing these wide receivers so high. They borrow the ones from the previous round and pull them into the, it's kind of wild. Let me see if I can find DK's ADP. DK Metcalf.
And Debo 6.
Where's DK? On here. DK Metcalf. Is he really this far down? No, where is he at? Oh my God, 40, 48, yeah. Oh yeah, so it's 4th round. So 4th round, 4th to 5th round in best ball. 5th to 6th round in non-best ball.
And Debo is probably like 6.
Debo is in the 61 to 68 range. Probably 68 to 70 in non-best ball and 60 to 64 in best ball. So he's a great value. I love Debo. And there's so many people that hate Debo. I'm done with Debo. Debo sucks. Debo's washed.
He'll be in shape.
Yeah, people say that so much. He's not climbing. He's staying right where he is. Where there's too many haters to rise Debo up any further than this. His risk is 100% baked in. 100% baked in.
I don't understand what Kingsbury can do with him.
Kingsbury, JD5, motivation. He looks in better shape already. I've seen photos. I don't think they're AI. They could be. You never know. I reserve the right to change my mind if AI tricks me, but I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty dialed in. I don't let April Fools. You know how many people DM me today, wasted my time? I'll never get those 4 or 5 seconds back that I opened up those stupid DMs and people. Smitty, did you see Dak Prescott was traded? Hey, Smitty, did you see that Rashee Rice retired? Hey, Smitty, did you, just wasting my time? Like, it's April Fools. Come on. Everybody knows this day's coming. I even warned everybody on my stories. I said, I'm not one of those people that put those lame April Fools news posts up. I won't do it. You can always count on me not to do it. I might do a funny thing in the studio, or one year I pretended to drop my iPad and it was already a broken iPad. I did that on April Fool's, but I'm never going to give you a fake news story. That is stupid. I can't stand it. Everybody does it. They think it's so awesome. They're like, oh my God, somebody. But everybody's DMing me these ridiculous things all day. Like there's some news breakers. Smitty, you hear this? You hear the Dak Prescott? He joined the military and he's overseas. He won't be coming back for 3 years.
Yeah, they try to say McCoy got traded to the Panthers. I'm like, nah.
Smitty, did you hear Mason Rudolph might be the starter for the Steelers? Oh, wait, that one is real. Hopefully not. I don't think it will. I don't think it will be. Yeah, as Travis said, April
Stock on decline.
April Fool's news, posts are on the decline. They're Smitty disapproved. I can't tell you how many DMs are still sitting there. There's still all these unopened. I get a couple hundred DMs a day on Instagram alone, and I can't tell you how many, another extra 100 or so that are just sitting there unread. That and sometimes with different things you can read a little bit, and it's all these DMs where people are like, never mind. Never mind. Smitty, ignore my first message. I'm I never read the first one. It's just a day I don't go into my DMs. It's just such a waste of time. Rashee Rice and Mahomes, round 4 in round 6, or especially top of round 5 for Rashee Rice and Mahomes in round 6. What are you feeling on that? I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, punch it.
I love it. I don't care. We already talked about this, but you maybe just got here. He said Rice will be suspended, right? We don't know. This is the KC Chiefs, man.
Oh.
This is the KC Chiefs. We don't know. The tush push got turned. The voted 16 votes to 16 votes. So no ban, right? Wrong. The commissioners decided to get involved, and he said he might do something about this after all. So, yeah, I think that we never know what the commission will do. We never know what the league will do. And Rashee Rice could still push this thing. His attorneys or his team could push it to the next year. I don't know. We have no clue. But my guess is a 2-game suspension at most, really, this far out from it. Like, do you even remember the feeling we had? None of it. I remember we were like, as much as we love Rashee Rice, we called him a breakout last year, regardless of the situation. We can separate business from, leisure, and chew gum and walk at the same time. And even though we were mad at him, even though we were calling him a coward for walking off the freeway, business is business. And we knew that Rashee Rice season was going to be in full effect, and he was on fire until he injured his LCL. But Rashee Rice, I don't care if he's even suspended two games. I don't know that he will be, but even if he is, big deal. 2 games, he's recovering anyway. Maybe it's in his best interest to serve those 2 games at week 1, week 2. And then that way he can heal his knee up. It's no worse for the wear. I don't know. But I'm not worried about it. I'm drafting the hell out of him. Especially round 5. Round 4, there are players that fall there that I tend to like more than him. On occasion, for sure. Like Josh Allen or JD5 or something. If they're sitting there. People that leave Josh Allen in round 4. Those are grandma leagues. JD5 in round 4, grandma league. Dial me up for JD5 or Josh Allen over Rashee Rice in round 4. Every time. Give me Hampton in a good landing spot over Rashee Rice. Nearly every time. Give me Henderson in a great landing spot. Even he'll climb so high. Henderson's like deep into a draft right now. But if he goes, let's say, to Denver or to Washington, then all of a sudden Darrell Henderson. All of a sudden Trey Henderson is a 4th rounder. Give me Hampton all day long. All right, rock out. Anything else?
Yeah, what's too early to take Irving in the second? Like, say if you went BT like 11 or 12, would you go like JT before him, or just go with Irving because you like him better?
I go JT sometimes, but I do go Irvin sometimes that high. I don't like to. Sometimes I even take Kyren at like 15 overall, but I try not to, because I try not to let anybody know that, because I don't want to be a culprit in moving his ADP. But I mean, it just depends on what kind of team I think I'm building. If I'm in best ball, if I'm in non-best ball. If I'm in non-best ball, I'm assuming Kyren goes in the second round like clockwork, even if it's the bottom of the second round. Mainly because most people in a non-best ball aren't corrupted by the wide receiver phenom. And then I think that you'll see people talk trash about Kyren so much in the fantasy football space that you tend to find in best ball, where there are a lot of fantasy football, even if they're wannabe content creators or whatever, a lot of people are drafting from that creator space where this negativity is sitting over Kyren, and it's the Blake Corum's going to take some work this year. This year's going to be the year, and it just kind of trickles in somehow, and Kyren goes in round 3 mixed with the desire to scoop up all the wide receivers in these best ball communities. So the combination of that makes Kyren fall into the 3rd round like a staple. But to answer your question, let's say I have 4 drafts and I'm only doing 4 drafts, and I've got a 2.3 ish pick. So not the turn, but like right there, right in the top 3 picks of the second round. I'll take Bucky in at least one of those. I'll probably take Kyren in one. I'll probably take JT in one. And If Genty's there, I might take Genty over all of them. Maybe not in every single one. I'd probably take Bucky. And I think if Genty was there at 2.3, I take Genty in 3 of them and Bucky in 1. Or I take Genty in 2, JT in 1, and Bucky in 1. And then I just hope that Kyron falls. If it's that's a best ball. If it's a grandma league or something, I'll take Kyron as high as I need to. I think he'll go in the second round.
How about semi-competitive redraft?
Just depends on the ADPs. And I mean, I'd probably take Kyron in 1, Bucky in 1, JT in 1, and JT in 1. If it was a non-best ball redraft. Anything else, my boy?
About it for now. Get you later.
All right, rock out. Call back if you got another one. I don't know how much longer I'll be here tonight. We'll see how it goes. But if you have another question, call right back. All right, thanks. Rock out. Rock out to the moon. All right. Phone line's open for a few more calls. If you got anything.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I suppose we could get in a draft. I don't think I'm not gonna live stream the entire draft though. It's too late for that. And I'm just exhausted, but I'll jump into one. If you guys want to go over to the NFL tab on Underdog. How do you draft with Smitty? How do you draft with good old Smitty? You go right here, use code Smitty, or you go to this link I'm about to drop right now in the live chat. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Here's the link. Do it live. Smash it, smash it, smash it. There it is right there, pinned. Okay, so you're going to click that link, and then you're going to meander on over to the Underdog app using code Smitty or the link. The link inserts code Smitty for you, and if you don't do this right now, you won't be prepared for the next time, so do it ahead of time. $10 minimum to join, and they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 in bonus credit. And so I'm going to go to the draft tab at the bottom, the lobby tab at the top, and instead of home, I'm going to select NFL. That way it's a shortcut. And then you'll see the featured ones. We're going to go to the big board $10 top option. Big board $10, $2 million in prizes, 30-second draft timer, and go ahead and hit that green button. And we'll jump in to a draft. Let me throw up. Put it up on the screen 1 second. Draft active, unfilled, 6 more to start. Here it is. Do it live. Thank you again for the other night for the super chats, Justin. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Look at Justin dropping wads. The last time we drafted. Matt says, nah, Bucky is not higher than Achane. Well, no, his ADP is not. His ADP is surely not. But could Bucky outscore Achane? Sure. Absolutely. Could Achane outscore Bucky? You bet your bottom dollar. Are they both monsters? Could they both be top 5 running backs? You bet your bottom dollar. Three more to start. Underdog, code Smitty, link in the description. If you're watching a replay, link in the live chat pinned. Code Smitty gets it done as well, but the link will insert code Smitty for you. Do it live. Smash that link. Get into thy draft. 2 more to start. Baker Mayfield 25 MVP. I don't think so, Wayne. I mean, look, he surprised me last year. I'll give you that. But Wayne, if Baker Mayfield is a 2025 MVP, I'll write Wayne all over my arms in marker and do a whole live stream with Wayne all over my arms. It look like I have sleeves on. I mean, it's just not going to happen, bro. But we realize you're a Tampa Bay Buck fan, so. All right, 2 more to start. Underdog, code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. Link's in the description of the video. Here's the link one more time. Click that link. Get into the draft. We need 2 more people to jump into this one. And even if you don't get into this one, that's okay. Sign up now so you're ready to go for the next time. It takes 2 minutes. And it's a $10 minimum. $10. Justin Fields to Garrett Wilson all day? Absolutely. Fields looks good right now, too. He looks so good right now. He's out there throwing. He's in a tremendous shape. His football looks amazing. His confidence is soaring. His job is secure. The talent around him is plentiful. Fields is going to the moon. And he might even be a moon man this year. I might throw him on the moon man list. That's how confident I am in Justin Fields, especially from a fantasy football scoring perspective. I love Godwin and Evans. I bet you do, Matt, but Godwin's probably in a void right now. You know, McMillan's a solid player to draft this year. I mean, when you think about it, with Evans potentially getting closer to that injury age territory, obviously. And Godwin trying to get back, could be back for week 1. All right. Dylan's on the clock. Doing it live. Phone line's open if you got a question.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Jamar Chase went. I don't know what I should do here. I want to go RB so badly. But I'm going to go wide receiver. Just because of the way they fly off the board. You can't go wrong with a top 6 pick. You really can't. You can't. I kind of like CD a little more than JG, but I'm trying to hedge my bets and mix it up. I don't want to continue to draft all the same. If Jermaine Burton matures, he'll take Yoshi Voss's spot. I don't know, Wayne. Wayne, you and I don't see eye to eye, my boy. Burton's definitely off his rocker. Burton he's not maturing at all. He's fumbling the bag multiple times already at the NFL level. You know, they're talking about like him. He's already in some off the field stuff, and a lot of Burton's not. Burton, anybody hoping Burton comes through is got him on a dynasty league or something. I just don't think it's going to work. The guy doesn't have his head on straight at all. Like maybe if he entered the league and everything was good, but it's not. We're going to the phone line, and I've got a 409 caller. You're live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Michael from Utah. What's up, Michael? What can I do for you?
I was just wondering if you had any concerns about Shedeur Sanders having been like only his dad has coached him all the way through high school, and if he does go to the having to deal with another coach being kind of a little bit on like the smaller side, not being the running quarterback. Just any concerns with me?
No, I love Shedeur in New York. If he goes somewhere bad, sure. Like if he went to Tennessee, and I did a whole show on this earlier. The whole 8 p.m. show was on Shedeur, pretty much. So go watch that. You missed a lot. But to sum it up, I love him in New York. And according to Shedeur, and you can again go watch the video because it was breaking news. Shedeur seems to be insinuating that he's a New York Giant, and his uncle was giving him a hard time, saying, "I don't want to wear a New York jersey. Is that where you're going?" And Shedeur was like, "It is what it is, you know." And his uncle's like, "No, come on, Neff, don't do it, Neff. I don't want to wear a Giants jersey, Neff." But he goes to the Giants, bro. He's throwing to Malik Neighbors and being coached by Brian Dable, who has made mistakes and no one's trying to defend his Danny Dimes situation, but that guy sculpted and molded Josh Allen. So Shador's going to be a good quarterback in this league in that scenario. Now, if he goes to LV or Seattle, those are still very good spots for him. I think that those are the likely other territories that he goes. If he was to, let's say, go first, which he won't, I'm just trying to give you an example. If Cam Ward went to New York, Cam Ward would probably be even better than Shador in New York, but Shador could be better than Cam Ward if Cam Ward's in Tennessee. Not just as a rookie, but as a career. But I do like Cam Ward a little bit more. But Shador's got an amazing skill set. He's very accurate. I think you even saying, are we worried about him? He hasn't been coached by any... Like, those are all assumptions. We have no evidence to suggest that he's not going to be coachable. Sounds like a stand-up guy. Everybody that talks about him, Chris Carter went on a rampage in a positive way on how much of a professional he is, and how that the cab driver that was driving him the other day was like just gawking over his professionalism and his head and where his head was at, and how he was trying to just explain things to people that were in the limo. He's all about business. He's got his head on straight. I'm not worried at all. I think Shador is, people love to hate him, and I don't understand it. And I think that people that think that he's I don't know. I'm going to go Kyron here because I'm going to get sniped, so I'm going to take him. I think people that think that Shador is going to fail for whatever reason, they're going to get burned. If he goes to New York, and I think he's going to. But if he doesn't go to New York, and New York's made every indication that they're potentially gonna, man, do I go Garrett Wilson here, guys, or Breece Hall? I've got Kyron and Jefferson. I'm gonna go Breece. All right, so I
hope they fix off the line, because playing the Cowboys and the Eagles, that line can really get Shador banged up a little bit first year.
Yeah, but I don't know, bro. This is the same thing that we heard about Washington, and I told everyone to chill out. Washington Commanders line's gonna hurt JD5. They're not gonna, bro. Do you know the best recipe for fixing an offensive line is to have a quarterback that can throw the ball, that can make room, that can get away from, you know what I mean? Like so.
Washington had a fast release though.
The New York Giants offensive line improves by 50% without doing a single thing, just by drafting Shador Sanders. People don't, for some reason, grasp, they can't grasp it. They just don't. Like when Jamar Chase was drafted, I even had Hugh Jackson, the former Browns coach, come on, and he was clowning on me on my own show about my prediction. And I just said, drafting Jamar Chase is smarter for protecting Joe Burrow than drafting Penei Sewell. And he was like, ah! And he just like had a little like fit on my show about it. And I was like, that's what I feel. And he's like, no. Like as if he had something over on me. And you can say, oh, he's coached in many years. And well, I've done this for many years. Like, I mean, maybe he's coached a little longer than I've done this professionally, but I've been doing this for over 2 decades. And yeah, maybe I'm not out there, bossing around players and taking snaps, but there's a reason we're here where we're at right now, right? And I feel pretty good about my assessments. I don't care what people think, but I told him, I was like, Joe Burrow is going to stay upright more by the mere drafting of Jamar Chase and stretching the field. You're going to see different schemes every time you snap the ball with Jamar Chase stretching the field than if you draft Penei Sewell and you don't have Jamar Chase stretching the field. Bleeko, take a lap, because this is the most ridiculous thing. Even after what you've seen right now, you're going to say this? You're going to put this receipt out there?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Well, the Bruce's mother wanted to tell you that, but I'll tell you this.
Take a big lap.
You disagree with almost everything I say anyway, so no one's listening. No one's listening, my boy. But I think I've already proved myself right, Bleeko. I think I proved it right when I said they'd win their division that year. Be a Super Bowl contending team. They went to a Super Bowl. What do you have to say about that? Or they lost, though. Oh, is that what you're going to say? Right, almost on the clock again. Go ahead. Anything else, bro?
No, that's all. Have a good night.
Yeah, don't count out Shador. Now, if he goes somewhere bad, we'll have a different conversation. But he's trending toward New York. All right, later, bro. All right, almost on the clock here. Let's see here. My team is Kyren, Brees Hall, JJ. Gotta love it. Such a squad. Such a squad. JJ, Kyren, Hall. JJ, Kyren, Hall. What do I do here? A lot of good players left. I mean, I'm sitting really nice right here. Really nice. Hampton was definitely somebody I was considering for sure. Okay, so now we're down to going with the quarterback. I like J-Mo. I don't love him. Chuba's nice. I just think that I gotta roll with Hurts here. I love Burrow too, though. If I had Jamar Chase, I'd take him. But like that's a quad right there. Look at that quad. JJ, Kyren, Brees Hall, Jalen Hurts. You gotta love that start. That's an unbelievable start. Now I've got a handful of players that I can grab here. Joe Burrow goes there. Mixon goes next. I'm on the clock again. See, Ted McMillan's is way too high. It's borderline 4th round pick. He's sitting right there in the top 3 options. I cannot take Ted McMillan in the 4th round or anywhere at the top around 5. Kenneth Walker, Kamara, it's so tough. I mean, I could go Trey Henderson here or Chuba. I'm going to put my balls on the line here and say I love Chuba. I do. He looks phenomenal, but I am a big believer of Trey Henderson. I think Trey Henderson is that guy. I think Trey Henderson is going to win leagues. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I've got JJ, Kyren. Let's put the team up. Hurts, Kyren, Hall, Henderson, JJ. Gonna go a little light wide receiver shopping. That's okay. That's okay. We'll see what the wide receiver room looks like, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I just didn't want to force like Zay or J-Mo here when I love Henderson. I love Henderson. Round 5's early. I get it. One could argue that Ted McMillan in top of round 5 shouldn't worry me if I'm going to take Trey Henderson that high. I can understand the argument, but I just disagree. You know, I'd like to get Hendy a little later, but it's not like I had a late 5th round pick. Nothing I could really do about it. Whoops. Nothing I could really do about it at all. We'll see. Blue 32. All right, I'm going to go after these next 2 picks. I'll still continue the draft with you guys, obviously, but I'm going to jump off. I got to get on the exercise bike. All right, rock out. 15 seconds, go. Rock out. 15 seconds, go.
What do you think about my crazy team?
What is it? Spit it out, rock out.
Quarterback, Daniels, running back, Gibbs, Irving, wide receiver, Deke.
I like it. I like it. Debo DK? You got the Debo DK?
Yep.
Yeah. Gibbs and who?
Gibbs and Irving, and then JD5.
Yeah, Bucky, Gibbs, JD5, Debo, DK. That's exactly the playbook there. If you're gonna go, you're gonna wait. Yes, sir. Oh, you're in this draft. I thought this is a different team you were reading off. There it is.
No,
wow, yeah, I like it, bro. I like it a lot. I'm glad we can look at it. I thought you were in a different draft. So JD5, Gibbs, Bucky, DK, Debo. Yeah. That's it, bro. That's a top 5 team without even looking at the other teams. I like it. Smashing. All right, I'm up in 6 picks here. I'm going to make these 2 picks, and I'm going to jump off the phone.
Yep.
So hang tight. I did like Laporta. You know who was not a bad move here for you would be Monty in a way.
Yeah, I was looking at him.
I mean, in best ball, it's nice. I wish Judy had such a good year last year, but how much of it was Winston? 90% of it, I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I was looking at Judy too. So with Monty.
It is tough to say. Jordan Addison, that's a nice pick. That was kind of a pick I was looking at. It's crafty. I like it. It would have been a good wide receiver too for me, given I went light wide receiver shopping. Jacoby Myers. This guy's got 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs, and his name is Bijan against odds. And he's got Bijan. The guy will draft Bijan at all costs, no matter what pick he has. Bijan against the odds is what it is. Damn it, he took Travis Hunter. You're out there, aren't you, Bijan against odds? I knew you were one of us. Taking Travis Hunter, you son of a... God, do I take Pickens here? Oh, no. He's like literally the only guy. I guess. What a timeout. Oh, I hate this. I think I vomited in my mouth.
All right.
Oh,
now you
man.
go again.
I'm going to go at Buka. I mean, on paper, Pickens still looks good on paper, does he not? I mean, we kind of know better, but he looks good on paper, damn it. So, Pickens, Buka, JJ, kind of save that. Kyron, Breece Hall, Trey Henderson, and Hurts. I don't know. We'll see if maybe I needed to go wide receiver instead of Trey Henderson, but I just didn't feel the wide receiver position at all. I feel like I did okay. I mean, Rockouts team's looking solid. I like it, bro. Really good. All right, Rockouts on the clock, and then I'm going to let him jump, and then I'm going to go. Unless anybody else has a quick 10-second question, you can call him real quickly while Rockout picks. And he goes Jerry Jeudy. I don't blame you. I mean, I like him. I like him. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical that without his buddy.
I'm hoping for a decent quarterback for them.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Pickens. I think it's the only time I've ever drafted Pickens. It didn't feel good. It looks good on paper, but I know better. I know better. I feel like it's not that bad of value though. Like I don't think at the end of the day, I look at my team and where I was at and how he fits into it. And I don't look at Pickens there and think I screwed my whole draft up. I'm going to lose my league based on it. It feels like okay. It feels, but I haven't drafted a lot of Pickens, and I kind of think I won't. I don't think I'll take Pickens much at all. If anybody called in, I saw a phone call come in and then disappear. Sorry, I missed it. If you got anybody has a final question, hit me with it quick before I jump out of here. All right, rock out. I'll see you later.
All right, cool.
Nice team. Rock out. Solid squad. Pickens. Yeah, I don't know. Not my. When I do these kind of like bolder strategies, like go running back. Well, I go Wide receiver JJ, then running back, running back, running back. So triple running backs and Hurts, I guess, with one wide receiver. Probably better to do that in a league where you're not in Snipe City, where you can get your values. Like Debo going early, Debo wasn't going to fall to me. You know, and I have none of those sleepers that I can grab in this scenario. So you put yourself in a weird box. It's hard to get out of when you're in Snipe City. So I will say that a balanced approach is always kind of best when you're in an environment where you're going to get sniped like crazy. AK says you're the Bang Bang team. Bang, bang. Mahomes, JT, Jacobs, Neighbors, Devontae Smith, Cup, Kittle. I like it. Really good. I like that. It's a good squad. Surprised you don't have more Niners. I like it. Nice job. Joe celebrates his 15-month membership. I won last year. Running back, running back, running back. Yeah, it can definitely work. Especially if you got the receivers that Rockout has, who's on the clock right now. He's on the clock right now. And his wide receivers are Debo, DK, and Judy by going Gibbs, Bucky, and JD5. Well, Monty, he didn't go running back, but he went JD5. Running back, JD5. So, solid team. He's on the clock right now. Who's he take? I have a feeling he's going to grab. Oh, that's a good pick. Stevenson. That's not bad. I don't mind that. Oh, Bijan against odds is Aaron. No wonder you took Hunter so early. Hunter was my secret weapon, but again, I can't deploy those kinds of strategies in here. They're going to get taken left and right. I don't stand a chance of getting my sleepers in. All right, so these two picks, and then I'm out of here. Then I'm deucing. I gotta go get on the exercise bike for an hour, burn 1,000 calories in an hour. It's not easy. You pedal like you're out of your mind. Okay, I'm gonna go with McMillie. I think that's a good receiver to grab here. I like McMillan a lot. I think that's fantastic value. I like it a lot. Travis Kelce, that's a good pick. My receivers aren't half bad, though. Justin Jefferson, George Pickens, and Buka McMillan. Given that I went Kyron Hall, Henderson, and Hurts, I mean, that's a really, really good. All right, I'm on the clock. Do I take... I don't like any of these picks right here. Mooney's not bad. Woo! It's a little early, but we're going to do it live, Zach Charbonnet. To the moon.
You've just been Smitty approved.
All right, I'm out of here. I'll finish this draft with you all. Got to go get on the exercise bike, burn that 1,000 cal. Join me, and if you guys want, get on over to, join me. After I burn the 1,000 cals, I'm going to get on the core board and get a session, and this thing's awesome. Use code Smitty. I'm telling you, here's the link too. Stoic Innovations is where you can buy it. Use code Smitty to get a 10% discount. But I'm telling you, this board is amazing. You don't need a gym. You really don't need a gym. Big Sunny with the super chat says, drafting at the 12. What do you see MHJ doing this year? Well, you can't take him at the 12. Big Sunny. So I don't know if that is what you're asking there, or the relation of that question to drafting at 12. I mean, I guess in the third round, the fourth round turn, but I think he's going to have 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 80 to 90 receptions. I think is a good number to count on. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. He has the capability of being a top 5 wide receiver. It's just a matter of, can they get him there in Arizona? I don't know. I really wish I had an answer. I feel like Kyler's got to take a big step forward. Hopefully he does. Seems like when he takes a big step forward, he takes a big step backwards. Like half a year later. You know, I feel like we never get a full version of Kyler that we like. It's always like on and off, on and off. We get excited, we get overhyped. Last year, everybody loved him, and he just blew. But anyway, core board, code Smitty, Stoic Innovations. I dropped the link in the live chat. I'll drop it one more time. Go check it out. Tell them I sent you. Use code Smitty. That will tell them, but you could also tell them I sent you if you buy one. But this Dragon flag is amazing. The all these cables. I don't even want to go to the gym anymore. I have a whole gym right here, and you can do flies. You hook them up on these little metal bars you see, and then you cross them and do flies like that. You can do rows. You can do curls. Obviously, I hook the bar up and do. And you're like shaking when you're doing it, right? You hook up the right amount of weight, and it's working your core, hence the core board, all the sit-ups on them. You put your feet on that bar that he's holding onto. You can do sit-ups on it. It's always nice to have your feet under something when you do sit-ups, especially if you're like kind of heavier, upper frame like your boy. So I love this board. Code Smitty, get it done. I'm going to do this after I do my workout. I'm very, very excited to have core board be a part of the show this year. Yeah, we do need to put a MHJ emoji up at the first sign we get MHJ going nuts. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Forever and Big Sunny, for the super chats. Thank you for the celebratory message by Joe. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, Mod Squad. Sick Nasty, Travis, Blackbeard, Space Ricky, The Bolt. I don't know if there's any other mods in here tonight. Sick Nasty, Space Ricky, Blackbeard, The Bolt, Travis. I don't think Kenny Powers is in here. I don't think Vampy's in here tonight. Vampy, appreciate you. And Kenny Powers, Terry Roberts. I think that's... I always have trouble. I always forget somebody. I don't forget them, but I'm trying to list them off. Mod Squad, to the moon. Supernovas, to the moon.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas. The hateful 8 supernovas. I'm looking at the 8 supernovas. The magnificent 8.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.